Discover the complete truth about not caring what people think of you and live with more freedom. Let's get straight to the point. The world has never been more obsessed with what everyone else thinks. Seriously, look around. You can't even post a picture of your breakfast without worrying about whether it's aesthetic enough or if someone will roast you in the comments. It's like we're all starring in our own reality show, except nobody's getting paid and the ratings are mostly just anxiety. Funny thing is, if you're honest with yourself, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. The constant second-guessing, the little voice in your head running imaginary arguments with people who probably forgot you exist 5 minutes after you last spoke. Yeah, I see you. And trust me, I'm not immune either. Before we go further, let's clear something up. This isn't going to be one of those rah-rah, you're a winner, motivational sugar highs that leave you hyped up for 15 minutes and then slumped on the couch binge-watching TikTok for 3 hours. Motivation is like candy. Tastes good for a second, then you crash and feel worse than before. I'm not here to sell you a dopamine rush. I'm here to hand over the blunt tools to actually change something. Real talk, no fluff. If you want cheap motivation, there are about 6 billion reels for that. Stick around if you want to actually build some mental muscle, not just flex it for the gram. Let's get brutally honest about the problem. We, and yes, I mean you and me, have gotten way too good at sabotaging ourselves because of other people's opinions. And the worst part? Most of those people aren't even thinking about us. Here's a classic. You want to wear something a little different. Maybe post a weird thought or just say no to a plan you hate. Immediately, your brain's like, but what will they think? Who is they, anyway? The random coworker you barely talk to? That guy from high school who still posts motivational quotes but sells protein shakes? Here's some math for you. There are 1,140 minutes in a day. If you spend even 10 minutes a day replaying imaginary criticisms in your head, that's 3,750 minutes a year. That's over 2.5 days of your life every year wasted on thoughts that literally don't exist in reality. And don't even get me started on the hours lost to scrolling, comparing, and feeling like crap about it. Why do we do this to ourselves? Because it's easier to blame what people might think than to admit we're scared of being uncomfortable. Sarcasm alert. Oh no, Becky from accounting might think I'm weird. Guess what? Becky is too busy worrying about whether her own socks match to care about your existential crisis. Let's call out some behaviors, shall we? You say you want to be more authentic, but you're still checking who saw your stories before you dare post something real. You say you don't care about opinions, but your mood sinks when that one person doesn't like your post. You claim you're living for yourself, but you haven't made a single decision this week that didn't involve at least a cameo appearance by, what will they think? You're not alone. I'm right there with you. But let's be real. At some point, we have to stop pretending we're just being considerate and admit we're being ruled by imaginary critics. It's like hosting a party in your brain for people who never RSVP'd. So, what do you do about it? Here's where most people mess up. They make vague goals. I want to care less what people think. Okay, cool, but what does that even mean? Goal setting is cute, but it's useless without a system. Systems are what keep you moving when your willpower is as reliable as a Wi-Fi signal at a music festival. Let's talk actual resources. There are apps like Day One or Notion where you can journal privately. Nobody sees it, nobody judges. Want to rant? Download a free voice memo app and talk to yourself. Nobody's going to leak your audio unless you're secretly famous. Need to practice saying no without spiraling? There are literally entire YouTube channels that walk you through assertiveness, social anxiety, and boundary setting. Free. You don't need a $1,000 retreat in Bali. You need 5 minutes and a search bar. The opportunities are everywhere, but what are you doing with them? Probably scrolling past, right? Funny how we have more tools than ever to build real confidence, but choose to use them for stalking exes or watching cats play piano. Let's be real about the process. The truth is, not caring what people think isn't glamorous. It's not about having a viral moment where you suddenly break free. It's about the grind, the day-in, day-out repetition of choosing your own opinion over a stranger's. It's boring. It's uncomfortable. It's saying, no, I'm not going to that event I hate, and then sitting with the awkwardness instead of numbing it with memes. It's posting what you actually think, even if it gets 3 likes. It's wearing what you want, even if someone side-eyes you in the elevator. People talk about balance, as if you can sprinkle a little self-respect onto your people-pleasing and call it a day. Sorry, but it doesn't work like that. The grind is real. It's not a highlight reel. It's more like a behind-the-scenes documentary where most of the footage is you failing, trying again, and slowly caring less. Motivation won't save you from the monotony. Systems will. Let's ask the tough question. Am I really trying? Or am I just dabbling in the idea of not caring what people think while secretly hoping everyone still approves of me? Are you actually putting yourself out there or just talking about it? When was the last time you did something you wanted, knowing someone might roll their eyes? Are you brave enough to get a little cringe? Or are you stuck in analysis paralysis, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes? Here's a rhetorical question for you. If you truly stopped caring, what would you actually do differently this week? And if your answer is nothing, then congrats. You're either a Zen master or, more likely, you're so deep in the comfort zone you think it's a personality trait. The difference between real effort and dabbling is clear. Dabbling is reading about confidence hacks at 2 a.m. and then ghosting your own ambitions by morning. Real effort is deleting the "what if they think I'm weird" playlist from your brain and actually acting, even if it's messy. So, are you grinding or are you just gossiping with yourself? Let's wrap this up, but not before I throw myself under the bus for your entertainment. I literally made this video alone in my room, talking to a camera, overthinking whether my hair looks weird or if my neighbors can hear me rant. Ironic, right? So I'm no guru. I'm in the trenches too, fighting the urge to please imaginary audiences. Here's the deal. You have a choice. Lock in, do the grind, and start actually living like you don't care, or keep running the same script and meet me back here next year, still worried about what Becky thinks of your socks. Your call. I can't promise you success, but I can promise the responsibility is 100% yours. And hey, if you want to procrastinate just a little longer, at least do it with style. Go wear socks with sandals or post a meme that makes absolutely no sense. Shock the system. Worst case scenario, you get a funny story. Best case, you start to notice nobody actually cares as much as you think. And if they do, congratulations. You just freed up space for people who don't suck. So, spare me a bit of your time and really think about this. Are you living for yourself, or are you just playing to an invisible crowd? Because if you're like most people, you're starring in a daily episode of Keeping Up with the Non-Existent Opinions. The freedom you're looking for isn't at the end of a motivational video. It's in the tiny, boring, repetitive choices you make every day. That's the real plot twist. The algorithm doesn't care, and neither do most people. Stop giving away your freedom for imaginary validation coupons that nobody's actually handing out. Here's an analogy you didn't ask for. Caring what people think is like paying rent for an apartment in a city you never visit. Why keep sending the check? Take back your keys. Move into your own headspace. Make it weird. Make it yours. The rent is too damn high for opinions that don't serve you. And yeah, you might get some noise complaints along the way, but at least you're actually living. So, next time you catch yourself hesitating, ask, is this my choice or a committee decision made by a bunch of people who aren't even here? If you can start answering honestly, you've already won half the battle. The other half, that's the grind. That's the unsexy, repetitive work of choosing your own voice over the static. And no, it won't always feel amazing. Sometimes it'll feel like wearing socks with sandals, awkward, a little embarrassing, but ultimately, who cares? If you want a final takeaway, here it is. The only person you have to live with, 24 hours a day, is yourself. That's 1,140 minutes every single day. Maybe spend a few less of them worrying about people who wouldn't even notice if you switched to a flip phone. Your freedom is a muscle. If you don't use it, it atrophies. So start flexing it. Even if you look a little ridiculous at first. I promise, nobody's watching as closely as you think. And if they are, maybe they just wish they had your guts. So, what's it going to be? Lock in and do the grind, or keep running the same script on loop until it's old enough to vote? I'll be here, socks mismatched, hair a mess, talking to a camera, not caring. Your move. Don't make me come back next year and roast you for still living in Becky's imaginary apartment. Now go do something weird, and this time, make it for you. See you on the other side of What Will They Think?